Okay, so I think I was saying, I just want to be an open book here. Um, my mother, she's also here with me. Uh, she sent me just a couple of like prompts of things that like I've written about before and talked about before, and she also encouraged me to like make these videos like today, and I think they're good because like I've done a lot of writing about this, but like something like this is best explained, through talking, and then that talking can be like edited later. I'm glad my mom got me that speech therapy when I was in fourth grade. Not my dad. Anyway, edited later. Um, but like it's something that's like much better like explained like by talking. I think because it's not like there's like a bunch of like little pieces like scattered here and there, but then there are also a bunch of like bigger forces too. And like I'm not, capturing your experience is difficult. I think through writing alone. Um, I've tried several times in my life to keep a diary, and I can't seem to. I either get interrupted, or I go on for way too long, or I lost the key to this one like little lock diary that I had when I was like younger. I don't know where it went anymore. I don't even know what I wrote in it. I doubt it'd even be legible because I don't have the best handwriting. And I certainly didn't when I was like 5, 6, 7. But yeah, no. In the interest of full disclosure, my mother has encouraged me to make these videos, and I think they are helping because, like, I don't, I know that something has to give with this house situation. I know that there's like 98,000 left on the mortgage because he refinanced 4 times, most recently in 2012. The time before that was 2004, and I mean, if this had just been, more, the 2004 mortgage would be a lot easier. It would have been so much easier for my mom to have bought my dad out when they, initially, when they divorced. And dad set this deadline, for the house to be sold that he didn't enforce until, my mother inherited my her mother's house, and it seems like really unfair and especially unjust. Like I think those are two separate things. Like, and also during the whole trial, like my mom did not get the best representation. Um, like a couple of her, she had at least two lawyers like turn against her. Um, during all the proceedings, which, I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I mean, I do have some interest in going to law school, but I have so much student debt that I don't know how I would swing that. I'd be paying it off for the rest of my life. I think if I got a law school loan, and then even then, lawyers will probably be replaced by AI in like the next 5 years. So like, maybe I should just like become an HVAC tech or something. Um, Anyway, that's an aside. I just like if the house is there if there's really no way to stop this court order and this house that I've lived in for my whole life. I've had many good memories, a few bad memories here. Um, and there are things about this house that annoy me, but like it's a place to live. It's where I've always lived, and it's a little bit scary. A lot scary actually. The idea that like, we would have to like find a place to rent while the house is being sold and then move all of this stuff out into a space that might not be able to hold it. And it's just, it's surreal and it's nerve-wracking and I hate it. And yeah, I know that I could have helped my mom, get the other house ready for rent sooner. And then my mother could have taken over the mortgage with that rent money. And my mother also would have gotten the full $1,400 of alimony, even though that expires in 2026. Faster if I had been more like you know, able to, like, get up in the morning, like he stopped me from doing, or not, he didn't stop me from getting up in the morning. I have to say that. But he did make it a lot harder for me to do that, for me to get up in the morning now as an adult than he needed to. He made that much harder for me. And I know it's my responsibility not to fix it, but you shouldn't screw up people such that they need to take responsibility for fixing something as simple as getting up in the morning when you, their father, who was supposed to, get them to bed, couldn't. It all feels, I know that life isn't fair, and I know that, like, there are no guarantees, and all of these little pablum things, but it's just, am I not allowed to complain about it? Am I not allowed to seek some relief? I mean, it shouldn't be this hard and expensive to reach your full potential as a person. It shouldn't. Um, I've been toying for like a few months now with like the idea of like writing like a sci-fi novel, like, where like, human lifespans are much longer, so you have, so there's not nearly as much pressure, to do so many things so quickly. Like you don't have to, I know we talk in these days about an extended adolescence. And yes, I am 29, and I don't have a driver's license, because I took the test once and failed in 2013, and I was too chicken to go back, and other things got in the way, and I know that's on me, and I know I never had a real job either, and I know that's on me. I did manage to graduate from college, which is a real accomplishment, I guess, but it felt too easy. I mean, my mom likes to harp on me about how I got like an 800 on the, I guess, verbal section of the SAT. I took it when there was that weird writing section that I think they've since taken away. Um, so I got an 800 on like the straight, English portion of that test, and I'm like, and when I remember taking it, I felt like I was like almost like I was cheating because it was so easy. Like it shouldn't have been that easy. Uh, but I should have appreciated that at the time, because everything feels so hard now. Um, like it just really shouldn't be this hard. And oh, and then I did want to mention a couple other things. Um, twice, and it wasn't just for the tree nuts that my sister was taken to the ER via ambulance. There was another incident where my sister, she was like laying on the couch, and she had a migraine or something. She was too tired to move. So my mother just called her an ambulance because she wouldn't move off the couch, and my sister went to the ER for that. And then there was another time. Oh, when she drank like 2 gallons of water in like one day, and she got really hypoglycemic from that, as you might expect. Um, and she also was hospitalized for that. I think an ambulance had to be called for that too. And then also my father, he had at one point in 2014, the spring of 2014 or something, or winter of 2014, my sister noticed that there was like these like, turkey roasting marinating bags and this like plastic tubing, in the trunk of his car, and she asked him about it. And then I think a little, some time later, not too much time, but like, in roughly the same time span, my mom, either my sister told my mom about it or my mom found it, and then she showed it to me. And basically, Dad ended up admitting that it was a suicide kit. He was gonna attach the tubing to, I guess, a helium tank. Not that I want to give like instructions on how to do this, and then put the bag around his head, and that's just horrifying to me, especially because his dad, my grandfather, also died by suicide, so my father basically had like a suicide kit, and he claimed at the emergency custody hearing after my dad left, abandoned my mom and I, and cut her off from most of the money. My mother sued for divorce. Essentially in self-defense. She had some friends who advised her to do that. Um, at that emergency custody hearing for my sister, because I was 19 at the time. I am 29 now. Um, my dad said that, he got this, the suicide kit was because I guess he felt so bad about being married to my mom that he needed to kill himself. But that his long-term therapist, Deborah, who'd been seeing him for like years, like almost decades, said that, oh, all you have to do is leave Mary. You have other options. You should leave Mary. And that just sounds awfully convenient to me. Um, not to like, dismiss suicidal ideation or anything, but like the circumstances for that, I mean, it's too pat, for me. Um, I just, I really hate that there's like a court order from the circuit court forcing the house to be sold, appointing a trustee to do it. Oh, and then they came in on today's Sunday, on Thursday, like out of nowhere. I guess they had told us, but it felt out of nowhere to my mom and I. And they like, served us with the papers, and they took photos of the house. They made a copy of the key. They measured the house. They brought an appraiser and a locksmith. It was horrible. It felt like the four horsemen of the apocalypse. It was embarrassing. It was scary. I did a lot of crying about that too over the past few days. And I just don't know what the future holds. I mean, maybe if this house does need to be sold and we find something cheap to rent, maybe it could be I hate to say a good thing, but not a bad thing. We could get like a fresh start. It would force us to get rid of a lot of the clutter. But at the same time, I've lived here my whole life. I mean, I've lived other places, mainly the apartment off campus. But even then I was home like every weekend almost. I just really hate it. And I know I'm 29. I know that my father has no legal obligation to me whatsoever. Because I'm an adult. I know that. But it's still really horrifying. This is the reality. Maybe if it does sell for a good price, and I think my mother should get all of the proceeds / equity from the house because of how many times my dad refinanced and of all the lies he told. Well, I know. I think she should. I don't think she will, based on. No, she won't, but she should, but she won't. Because of all the times that my father, instigated these refinancings of the house, and then all the lies he told about her and all of his little weirdnesses. Oh, and then my sister Catherine, she would also she's my little sister. I think I said that before. She also threatened to kill me on several occasions. I think when she was going through like all that stuff because of the tonsillectomy, and I think even before that though, she would like yell and scream that she wanted to kill me. She didn't like the sound of my chewing at the dinner table, which I think is a thing called misophonia or phobia. And it's just all just like really depressing, and it almost makes me want to kill myself, but I don't want to die. I don't want to kill myself, but I also just really fear like what's going to happen over the next month or so. I really do. I don't know if we're going to be able to find a place. I hate the fact that we had to provide, we've been given like assignments by this woman.